thanks for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my Hashimoto's journey with you guys. So I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's a couple of years ago, and I'll go ahead and get into my symptoms. So first off, I had no idea that I had a thyroid issue. Well, I kind of had a hunch that I had a thyroid issue because I was super exhausted. It didn't matter how much sleep I had gotten the night before. So I was working 2 jobs at the time as a nurse, and I'd work my first shift at a clinic, and I'd come home and I would fall asleep. Almost every single day of every week I would take a nap, and then I would wake up, cook dinner, clean up, and then go back to bed early. And then I had another job where I was working on the weekends, sometimes once on the weekend. So anyways, it was just a stressful time in my life, and I knew from the amount of sleep that I was feeling like I needed just to function, I knew that something was going on. I have a family history of thyroid problems. My dad and my grandma, and I think some aunts and uncles also are on Synthroid for Hashimoto's and just a low thyroid function. And so I really wanted to not be on Synthroid, and I wanted to fight whatever was coming and whatever I was dealing with early. So one of the things that I did that made the biggest difference ever was I went to a nutritionist, and I went to a holistic nutritionist. So I know that they're a little bit pricey. She was a couple of $100s the first time, and if you have the money to do that and it's not going to break the bank, that is totally wonderful. I would suggest it. Either a practitioner, so a holistic doctor, or a nutritionist. I ended up just going to her because I was super interested in food, and I didn't think I had anything else going on with my body other than the thyroid issue that I thought was starting to come on. So I went ahead and I went to one that my girlfriend recommended, and she was amazing. She took my blood and she started off where I was lacking. So she recognized really quickly from my blood work that I was really deficient in vitamin D, which most women and people are nowadays. Unless you're working outside or something like that. Mostly everybody who's working inside isn't getting enough sunshine or just vitamin D in their diet. So I was super low in that. I was also really low in HDLs, which are your healthy fats in your body. And my blood work did also show that I did have Hashimoto's because I had the TSH antibodies circulating in my bloodstream. So I was really blessed. My nutritionist said that we caught it early, and so a lot of the things that she did for me I think could help anybody who's struggling with autoimmune, whether it's Hashimoto's or another autoimmune condition. Foods are super healing, and that's something I've really taken an interest in over the years. So the big thing she recommended to me was, of course, to get on some supplements, which I'll share with you guys. And then she also recommended me to eat organic foods and a lot of vegetables and fruits, and to stay away from foods that cause inflammation. So as you know, autoimmune diseases come on from the cascade that inflammation causes within the body. Consuming a lot of fast foods, sugars, and refined foods and non-organic foods just puts a really toxic load on your body. There's so many chemicals and preservatives and additives and things in those foods to make them shelf stable and to make them last for a long time that they really do a lot of harm to our body, and they're really hard to break down and to digest. So she was really emphasizing letting go of the inflammation and decreasing inflammation in my body, increasing rest, increasing good nutrition to allow my body to heal itself. So she did get me on some supplements. I did a vitamin D supplement. I did a liquid one. I also did a probiotic. I did a multivitamin, and I did, in order to bring up those HDLs, I did a fish oil supplement, which if you're vegan, I know there are vegan alternatives as well for healthy omegas found in plants. This is the specific one that I started using. This is Nordic Naturals, and I like it because they have different flavors from orange to lemon, and then they have cod liver oil, and then they have like different fish oils that come from like sardines or anchovies. I like this brand because they're really sustainable, and they make sure that they don't have heavy metals inside of they're oils, which is awesome. So this is like amazing for everything, your brain health, your gut, fighting autoimmune, your immune system, so many different things. So she got me on those, and then encouraged me also to eat other things, including healthy fats in my diet, like nuts, avocados, different oils that are healthy, like coconut oil, olive oil, things like that. Certain kinds of animal protein was good for me. And then to stay away from foods that I was allergic to. So she also tested my blood for food allergies, which I thought was so cool because I didn't think I had any food allergies. I kind of, like, looking back on my life, I recognized that I struggled with constipation a lot. And it was so funny. My family would always make fun of me and say, well, you're not eating enough vegetables. And I was eating the same amount of vegetables as everyone else. I just think that my body was so overloaded with the type of foods that I was eating. Maybe the lack of the proper amount of water and exercise contributed to that. And then also consuming foods that my body was actually allergic to. So I found out that I was allergic to eggs, which, you guys, I pretty much ate eggs like every day. Since I was little, I'd always have eggs. Pineapple, I was allergic to that, and peanuts. And so, like I said, I didn't really know I was allergic to these foods. I had more simple symptoms, which I just thought were things that I just struggled with constantly. Constipation was one of them. Tummy aches I did get from pineapple, and peanuts I never really recognized, but I'm sure they caused inflammation within my body. So that was a big thing that she really suggested, was staying away from foods that you're allergic to when you have autoimmune, and then staying away from foods that are really would trigger inflammation in the body. So of course that's gluten. I know you guys have all heard about that, and everything that tastes good. Dairy, I'm a cheese girl. I love cheese, so that was kind of hard for me. And then sugars. So one thing I did was I just purged my sugars out of my cabinet. So I stopped buying white sugar a couple of years ago. Once in a while I'll use like cane sugar, the least processed one, if it calls for it in a special dessert recipe I'm making, but I'll always have like maple syrup, coconut sugar, and raw honey at my house, and that's what we use as sweeteners. So those things really contributed to me gaining my energy back. I was feeling a lot more energized. I was also exercising more regularly. I had started to. I've kind of been on and off with exercise throughout my whole life, so I'm on this new journey of trying to find exercise that's gonna work for me and be fun, that I enjoy instead of dreading it. And so she challenged me in that, and then she also said just to rest. She helped me identify a lot of stress points in my life, and then just challenged me to rest, to get more sleep. Sometimes we feel like if we're sleeping more, we're not as productive. That could just mean getting to bed on time, or getting to bed a little bit earlier, or waking up a little bit earlier, and having time in the morning. Like, I know for me, having time in the morning to have my devotionals, to read, to do a little bit of exercise before I go to work or before I start my day really makes me feel calm and less anxious and more grateful, and just has a better outlook on life, therefore less stressed. So yeah, she just really encouraged decreasing the inflammation in my body, and those were the ways that I was able to achieve it, through the Lord's grace. And then yeah, I just incorporated a lot more fruits and vegetables. I stayed away from fast food. I stayed away from highly refined foods, from really sugary things. And I just really was mindful on what I was eating and what I was buying, because I know that if I have it in my pantry, I'm gonna want to eat it. So I was just really careful with what I purchased. And I'm so thankful, you guys, that I went to go see her. I feel like, yeah, it was just such a blessing to me, but it also kind of started my journey and my love for healthy foods and healthy supplements, and just a lifestyle in general where we're being active towards preventing things with our health instead of reactive, finding out we have something and then treating it, which is inevitable. That's going to happen to us all at one point or another. And we have so many different organs and things going on in our body that, of course, we're going to be on that end of treating health as well. But it's just so exciting to feel empowered, feel educated and empowered that I can make these decisions now that will prevent things from coming on later on, that will help my children as I'm able to have children and have an offspring. It'll help their life as they're growing up, because I'll have this knowledge to be able to pass on to them. But it's so cool, you guys. It's so cool that God created so many foods in the world that we can use to heal. And so I'm super passionate about that. I hope that this video gave you guys some information on healing from Hashimoto's. And this was just my story. I've been wanting to share it, and I'm so thankful to have this little platform to be able to do so. I love the supplements that I've been taking over the years. I've been feeling really great, and I'll do another video on things that I'm doing to keep the Hashimoto's away. And other autoimmune diseases away, and cancer away. And it's just so exciting to make choices now that are going to impact you years to come, in the generations to come. So anyways, you guys, if you guys are struggling with autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's or any other ones, I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. I'd like to answer any questions that you guys have if I can. This is obviously not medical advice. You should definitely go see a doctor or a nutritionist if you are struggling, and if you feel like you need some help. They can take your blood and figure out what exactly you need and give you advice that'll be perfect for you. Some of these things that I mentioned, that my nutritionist mentioned to me, are just overarching principles, like decreasing inflammation in the body, meeting your body where it's at. If it's deficient in certain vitamins, allowing it to obtain those vitamins and those minerals and nutrients, that way that it could heal from within. Getting rid of stress in your life, finding things that you love to do, that you're passionate about, that are going to bring you joy. Those are all things that heal the body, and it's so exciting. And I would love to hear you guys on your healing journey. Thank you so much for watching this video, and just for being a part of this little community that is YouTube. I love that we can share our stories even from afar. And so I just hope you guys have a blessed day. I'll go ahead and leave all the supplements down below that I take. And like I said, I'll do some more videos on how I keep the Hashimoto's at bay today, and things that I do to prevent it from coming back. So love you guys. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.